If we pollute too much and use too many gases and things, it will kill the animals.
Animals die, most people will die. And if we pollute too much, like if we pollute the water, people will have to drink the water and it might pollute them.
And the ozone layer is disappearing, and that's going to be problems. The rainforests are getting cut down, and we need the rainforests.
Most of what I really needed to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. I learned share everything, play fair, don't hit people, put things back where you found them, don't take things that aren't yours, say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Learn some and think some and draw and sing and dance and play and work some every day. When you go out into the world, watch for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule, love, ecology, politics, and sane living. It's called ethics in action.
No, it's true.
The Washington State University study recently looked at the codes of ethics of 200 Fortune 500 corporations, and it found that 75% of them failed to address a firm's role in civic or community affairs. 3/4 even failed to mention the moral imperatives of environmental safety. What are we teaching our children about ethics in action? Perhaps nowhere is ethics more vital than environmental protection. Perhaps nowhere are ethics more obviously missing. That environmental protection is more than a quality of life issue. It is nothing less than an issue of long-term global survival.
Ethics really comes down to self-esteem, doesn't it? And why are people unethical? Because they don't believe in themselves enough that if they don't say, no, I pass on that, that they're not going to get a second chance.
And that's the first thing we attempt to teach our students, is first of all to believe in themselves and to know that we have all been put on earth somehow to make a contribution.
This earth is one body, one living organism, and we are the cells of that one living organism. And when there is pain, when there is suffering, when there is anxiety, distress on this earth, we all feel it either directly or indirectly. And hunger, and disease, and war, and poverty are diseases of this earth.
I realize that we are indeed a universal family, and that generally speaking, we cry over the same things. And that when your child is ill, you worry whether you're wearing a sari or a dhoti or whatever. And that mothers that haven't food to feed their children and that have breasts that are all dried up are also in pain, just the way you are.
We had world healing events, 1986, 1987. We had harmonic convergence. The media freaked out, didn't know what the people were doing. Why were they getting up? Somebody called me from the Voice of America and said, don't you think it's weird that all these people are getting up at 6 a.m. in mountaintops and humming? And I said, no, you know what I think is weird? That people would be getting up in the morning and making bombs to destroy us.
The ethical behavior in organizations, I think, is tied up with how people are treated in organizations. If you manage only for profits, it's like playing tennis with your eye on the scoreboard and not on the ball. And the ball is your values, how you treat people, what we're trying to accomplish. I love that Winston Churchill story when he was asked to speak to the young elementary kids at the school where he had been trained as a young boy. And Churchill got up and used to like to put his glasses in the end of his nose, and he looked around at these kids and he said, never, 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 never give up. And he sat down, and that was his speech.
I think things happen when the majority of the people simply do not accept them anymore. Why I think a healing of the earth is beginning is because I believe more and more people, not only in the industrially developed nations, but also in the poor nations, are beginning to understand the danger that they're threatening.
The sad truth is, we don't have any idea how many species of life share this planet with us humans. The number ranges somewhere between 2 and 30 million species. What we do know is that species are disappearing at a rate perhaps not seen since the loss of dinosaurs 65 million years ago. The National Cancer Institute has reported there are undoubtedly several species of plants that could yield superstar drugs against cancer, perhaps even a cure for AIDS. But we may never know even the species name before we lose it. For ours among all generations is literally being given the last chance to protect our environment, to save the best of that which remains of our natural world. Nothing less than the long-term sustainability of life on Earth is at stake.
There are children raised in sorrow on a scorched and barren plain. There are children raised beneath the golden sun. There are children of the water and children of the sand. They cry out through the universe, their voices raised as one. I want to live, I want to grow, I want to see and I want to know. I want to share what I can hear. I want to be, I want to live.
On these 1,000 acres in the Rocky Mountains near Aspen, Colorado, the Windstar Foundation was co-founded by John Denver and Tom Crum in 1976. The primary work of the Windstar Foundation is to educate people about the pressing issues of the day and to inspire them to take responsible, informed action. One example of Windstar's work is the Biodome Project. Winter temperatures here can reach 40 degrees below zero, but inside this 50-foot solar geodesic greenhouse, several thousand pounds of vegetables and fish are grown year-round. The Biodome Project is one of Windstar's efforts to demonstrate appropriate technology and to promote sustainable agriculture and land stewardship.
I'm not cold. You're cold. Take a jacket.
Other primary projects of the Windstar Foundation include hosting the annual Choices for the Future Symposium, publishing the quarterly Windstar Journal, and developing Windstar connection groups throughout the United States and the world for action at local levels. Windstar connection groups are being formed in communities to educate and inspire ordinary people to take extraordinary action to sustain the planet's future. And that is also the purpose of the Windstar Symposium.
I attend dozens of symposia, conferences in the United States and around the world, and I can tell you this is the best I've ever attended.
I don't think there's anything like the Windstar Symposium happening anywhere.
Well, Windstar produces new ideas and produces hope.
We all have an obligation to make sure that this world that we pass on to the next generation is treated kindly.
And I think what we've got here is we've got 1,500 people committed to go home and take one step somewhere.
And I'm on the church board, and I have a child care center, and I'm going home and I'm making a commitment, and I am going to make a difference.
Well, I'm willing to get a paper route and buy my own seeds and plant them if the grown-ups will help.
I'd like to help heal the planet by asking my friends and my parents' friends, to not buy the aerosol cans that destroy the ozone layer.
Whatever it is that you get involved in, whatever kind of choices you make, whatever inclinations you follow, Windstar is here to support you, and we'd love to have your participation and partnership in what we're doing.
We can feed, we can house, we can educate, we can perform miracles, we are performing miracles, and the world needs to catch a glimpse of its potential.
Nothing less than the long-term sustainability of life on Earth is at stake. Future generations, including those yet unborn, will and should hold us accountable for the actions during our watch.